No matter who you are, you will have haters. John 15 verse 18 says, if the world hates you, know that it hated Jesus first. So if you have haters, know that God is greater than your haters. Lately you've been feeling the weight of your haters coming at you with their envy and their hate, scheming against you, throwing mud on your name. But God's gonna work it out despite their lies and game. God is greater, so much greater than your haters. God is greater, don't give up, it'll pay off later. God is greater, through the pain you're a giant slayer.
Fake friends will befriend your known hostile enemies so that they can betray you in 3 very specific ways. You got to watch for people like this who claim to be your friend, but they knowingly befriend a known hostile enemy. Before we get into today's topic, I want to tell you about the inspiring message on the mug that I'm drinking my coffee from. It's the Mental Health Affirmations mug, and it has mental health affirmations to help me put myself in a better frame of mind and to put my mental health first. It's available at our website, CassandраMackMinistries.com. In the comment section, if you have any of my inspirational hoodies, t-shirts, any of our mental health mugs, any of my books, let me know in the comment section which product you have and how has it benefited you. Put it in the comments so that we know. Which would you recommend? So, fake friends, they will befriend your enemies to betray you in 3 specific ways. Before we get into the 3 ways, right, that they will actually betray you, why do fake friends befriend a known hostile enemy? Meaning that this person claims to be your friend. Maybe it is a family member, right? And they claim to be like a good friend to you. It's important to understand that one of the tenets of friendship is loyalty. And divided loyalties mean that there is no loyalty. And so I want to be very clear. Your friend doesn't need to be nasty, should not be nasty or mean, right, to someone who doesn't like you. There's no need. We're grown. They don't have to be nasty. That's not nice. No need to be mean. But at the same token, they don't need to be their best friend where they are joined at the hip, because it creates a problem for you in that friendship. And here's why. If you consider a person your friend, we'll give people names. So we'll say that you have a friend named Sally, and you have another woman named Tracy, and Tracy hates you with every fiber of her being. And maybe she hates you because you got a promotion instead of her. You can assert the reason. And not only does she hate you, but she's on an all-out campaign to destroy your reputation. She gossips about you. She spreads rumors and lies about you. She has stolen work, passed it off as her own, and just numerous things to try to bring you down. Now, your friend Sally knows this, right? Knows the dynamic between you and Tracy, and that you're just trying to mind your business, live your life. But because of Tracy's overt and hostile envy, she is on a full campaign to try to bring you down, to do things to hurt you. And that just scratches the surface of the things she's done. Your friend knows this, right? So here's where this becomes an issue. If Sally is supposed to be your friend, right, then where is her loyalty? So being loyal, I want to be very clear, doesn't mean that she needs to be nasty to Tracy. No, we're grown. That's not kind. We don't need to be nasty. It doesn't mean that she shouldn't speak to her. It doesn't mean that she needs to be cruel. Of course not. But there's a difference between not being cruel to somebody and doing all that you can to be their best friend and spending all of your free time with an individual who you know is trying to harm me. So a friendship implies, right, that you are aligned. Amos 3:3 says, can 2 walk together except they be agreed? And when you are walking your life in the direction of your goals, your growth, personal fulfillment, spiritual growth, personal development, happiness, joy, success, and you got Tracy over here who's trying to walk your life in the direction of confusion, drama, creating harm, bringing you down, creating havoc for you, disturbing your peace. And Sally knows this, right? And Sally goes out of her way to be Tracy's best friend. This is problematic. Now, we can't tell grown people what to do, but what we can do is make clear choices based on observable behavior. And so once you have observed that your friend has decided to befriend Tracy, who is a known enemy, you are well within your rights to step back from the friendship with Sally. That is your right. You don't got to be mean. You don't got to be nasty. If you choose to have a conversation, you can say, I'm uncomfortable with the friendship you have with Tracy. Your choice. You're an adult. I'm not able to tell you what to do. I see you've made a decision. I respect your choice by respectfully stepping back from our friendship so the two of you can develop a friendship. And you leave it from there. No need to argue. So even if Sally comes back and says, well, I can be friends with all of you, you don't need to argue about that. When you have a clear value system and a clear boundary, you don't need to argue about your values and boundaries. You simply need to stand by them by way of upholding the behavior associated with the boundary. No need to argue. Just do what you said you're going to do. If you said you're going to step back from the friendship, then so be it. Doesn't mean you need to be loud. Doesn't mean you need to be nasty. Doesn't mean you need to name call. Doesn't mean you need to tell everybody why you step back from the friendship and have 1 million people in your business. No, we grown. We can do all things with class, with grace, with decency, and with order. But people cannot have double alliances. Even countries can't have double alliances. So you got to be very clear about that, and don't allow someone to gaslight you, game you, or guilt trip you into believing that you have to stay in a friendship that makes you leery about whether or not you can fully trust that other individual with your vulnerabilities, with your secrets, and so forth. You have a right to live your life in a way that allows you to have peace, that allows you to have joy, allows you to not constantly have to watch your back. You are allowed to live your life that way. Being a believer does not equate to being a doormat. Being a believer does not mean being gullible. Being a believer does not mean that you have no boundaries and you have no standards. So don't let people guilt you, gaslight you, or game you into believing anything else. So with that out of the way, then I'm going to give you some scriptures. Primarily, these are the reasons why a fake friend, right, will befriend a known enemy, someone who clearly hates you and has demonstrated that hate by way of their conduct towards you, is usually to betray you in these 3 ways. What they're really doing is teaming up with that individual to give them access to you. So, number 1 is to betray you by giving the enemy access to information about what's valuable to you. See, when you have someone who you consider a friend, you're going to be spending time with this person. You're going to be talking with them. So they're going to know what's important to you. The relationship with your children, the relationship with your spouse. They're going to know different things about your personal business, which is not for public consumption and is just none of the enemy's business, right? When you know someone is hostilely resentful and negative towards you, you don't want them in your personal business. That's just not wise, right? But when a fake friend befriends a known enemy yet claiming to be your friend, we can't have it both ways. And I'm going to give you a scripture to back this up for those who don't want to stand on their square. So what happens is it could be something as simple as we'll call, I think we call the enemy Tracy. So let's say your name is Susan. So Tracy says to Sally, oh, how's Susan doing? Oh, you know, Susan's okay. Susan's son is about to graduate college and she's really excited. What's her son's name again? Oh, her son's name is Jonathan Baker. Oh, Oh, okay. And what college is he going to? Such and such and such. And how old is he? And where I forgot. She live in Brooklyn? Yeah, that's up. Now they looking up your son on social media. They got a first and a last name about your son, and you don't know, because here's the thing. This is what the scriptures tell us about envy, right? Where there's envy and self-seeking, there's confusion and every evil work. Where there's envy and self-seeking, there's confusion and every evil work. So now your so-called friend has armed your enemy with information about something that is near and dear to your heart. She don't need to know your child's first and last name, the college your child is going to, and where you reside. She doesn't need to know that about you. But now she does know that about you, courtesy of your so-called friend. And even if your friend wants to say, oh, I slipped, I was well-meaning, the fact that she's even in a position to slip, she wouldn't be in a position to slip unless they're spending time together conversing about you. So no matter how you cut it, there's no wiggle room. And when you're very clear, there's no ambiguity. People don't like people who stand on their square and who are boundary in their behavior. So what? You're not put on earth to please people. You're put on earth to please God, right? We're not living to please people. We're living to please man. So what? They don't like you. So what? So that's number one. They will betray you by giving the enemy access to information that's near and dear to your heart that they don't need to be privy to, because you don't know what they're going to do with that information. Now, granted, for those that want to argue, an enemy can find that out about you anyway, but why would you even want to put yourself in a position of having somebody around you who you consider a friend privy to your personal business to tell their other friends? Why would you even put yourself in that situation? Why would you make it easier for your enemy? So that's just not using wisdom. So they want to give information. And a lot of times that person you think is a friend that's befriending your enemy, they're a fake friend. They have no loyalty towards you, or they might have been envious of you, because sometimes friendships can change. Sometimes you're starting and you're in the same place and everything is good and gravy, and you begin to make traction and progress in a particular area of your life. It can be anything. Your job, your relationship. You have a great relationship with your children. You have a great relationship with your spouse. You're happily single, traveling, whatever your thing is. And oftentimes when your status changes in some kind of way, when your life progresses, you never know what goes on inside the mind and heart of another human being. I don't care what they say. You don't know what's in another man or woman's heart and mind. You know what they tell you. So you want to be mindful about that. That's number one. Information. They will give them access, whether knowingly or unknowingly, to information about what's near and dear to your heart, and they just don't need to know. I don't even want you to know what color sofa I have if we don't rock with each other like that. And so do understand, and of course I'm exaggerating. The color of a sofa is not a big deal, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. When you know that somebody has ill intentions, a wicked agenda against you, why would you want them to have access to anything about you? You can't help what you can't help. But what you can help, you want to help. Second reason, they want to expose your vulnerabilities. The fake friend wants to expose your vulnerabilities to your enemy, and they want to expose the areas in your life where you need God's grace. Every human being has a personal battle. We all have things we're battling, right? Even believers, we all have things that we're battling. And there are certain battles that are not meant to be put on display. There are certain battles that are not for public consumption. There are certain battles that each and every one of us are fighting that's going to require God's grace to carry us through and to help us overcome them. And when you have someone who is professing and pretending to be your friend, but they're carrying resentment or envy in their heart, one of the ways to really hurt you is to expose your vulnerabilities in the areas of your life where you need God's grace. because God is working those things out in your life, is to expose those things to your enemy so they could all gossip about it. And there's certain things people don't need to know about you. It's just simply none of their business. As my grandmother would say, she left out the S. She said none of their business. She said bitness. I don't know what bitness is, but that's what my grandmother called it. So it's none, I'm going to say it like my grandma. It's none of their business. So you got to be mindful of that. And it reminds me of when Noah got drunk in his vineyard in the Bible. And this is after he led everybody to safety in the ark. Isn't it funny how people will ride with you in your ark during a storm, but will turn on you when you need grace? And so Noah's drunk and he's naked on the floor. And his son finds him like that. And so one son is putting him on blast. And then the other son turns his back and covers him to not even see it. And that really shows love, because there are some battles, right? Now think about it. Noah was at the heels of success, meaning that he led everybody to safety on the ark, and now he is reinventing himself. He goes from an architect, so to speak, of building the ark and commissioning the ark to be built, and now he's a farmer. So he's reinventing himself, life as he know it. This is a new normal, from the flood to this new normal. And so whatever his battles were, I wasn't there, I don't know. But the one thing we do know that's very clear in the scriptures is that he had too much wine. So he's drunk, he's naked, and look at the difference between the son. One son is putting him on blast, while the other son covers him. And so I say that to say that there will be times where there are certain battles that you are fighting. Maybe you are going to AA meetings because you are getting clean and sober. Do your haters really need to know that about you? That's between you and God. And it's not about hiding, but sometimes we got to get comfortable telling folks it's none of your business and let them handle it. Oh, that's so mean. Then I guess according to you, it's going to be mean because it's still none of your business. Well, I can't believe you could not believe all day. It doesn't change the fact that it's none of your business. And so there are some things that you are going to need God's grace and people who love you, because it ain't love when they putting you on blast like that. And people who love you, who are going to pour into helping you, who are going to pour into encouraging you, who are going to pour into holding you accountable with love, holding you accountable with grace. And so when you got a friend that's so quick to want to be like, well, you know that she's in credit card debt. You know that his son is on drugs. You know, and you could almost hear the lips. Right? You can hear the, you know, and you're like, and this is supposed to be your friend. And they telling this to someone who they know have it out for you. Well, you know, they're going through a very messy divorce. Why do the whole neighborhood got to know that? Where's the grace? What type of friend is this? So this is key, because what they're trying to do, right, is they want you to be vulnerable. They want you to be vulnerable. They want to expose your weaknesses so that your enemies could run with that. And it's not that you trying to put up a front. Let's be very clear. Right? It's not that you putting up a front. But there's some things that's just none of other people's business. Particularly people who hate you. So be mindful of that. third, and this is a big one, and this one to me is the one that goes unnoticed a lot. A fake friend will befriend your known enemy so that they can give your enemies physical proximity to you. Physical proximity to you. And so what this looks like, an example is, they invite you to an event, they invite you to a gathering, knowing that that person's going to be there, but they don't tell you. So they let you walk into an ambush. What type? That's your friend? Really? Your friend gonna knowingly know that a person who hates your guts and is actively hating on you. They know this. They converse with this person and know that they're going to be at the gathering too. They couldn't give you the heads up so that you could decide to bow out because you don't want to be around negative energy. So they want you to feel uncomfortable. And let's say that it's a whole clique. You got the one ringleader who can't stand you, and you got her mindless minions who follow in her footsteps. It could be a he. His mindless minions who follow in his footsteps. And now it's just you and the so-called friend, and it's a clique of people that don't like you, and you're in a setting where it's uncomfortable now. And you could feel the stares, you could feel the daggers, you could see them rolling their eyes, and your friend is in her heyday. Your so-called friend is sitting there laughing. Like, you strong, I knew you could handle it. Oh, it's not a big thing, grow up. And you like, grow up? Grow up. Part of growing up is being proactive about my mental well-being. Part of growing up is being proactive about my peace of mind. This situation doesn't give me peace. Being proactive is about not putting myself in places and spaces where unnecessary drama and discord is going to come my way. That's part of growing up. There's no reason for me to willingly subject myself to the enemy's devices. I'm not supposed to be ignorant of the enemy's devices, but I certainly don't have to willingly subject myself to this. But you took choice away from me because you knew and you didn't say nothing. You could have just mentioned it. We're not talking about gossiping. Oh, so-and-so's going to be there. That could be the end of the conversation, and then I quietly bow out. But you wanted me to feel uncomfortable. This is a true story that happened to one of my coaching clients. So-called friend invites her to a gathering. And it's like a after work type of thing, right? So you can have wings, but they also, serve non-alcoholic beverages as well as alcoholic beverages. And it's a clique of girls who don't like this girl. And the clique doesn't really have a reason. They're following the ringleader. So her so-called friend invites her knowing that this clique is going to be there, right? And as she's walking, the girl who doesn't like her accidentally on purpose spills a drink all over her to ruin her outfit. And then they're laughing. And the so-called friend is like, oh, let me come with you to the bathroom. It's not big of a deal. You could just put a little water on it. But, it's not just the throwing of the drink. Like, she knew it was done on purpose, even though they're trying to play it off like it was an accident. And they're all laughing, right? They're laughing about it. And so it's not really about a drink. It's about looking for an opportunity to humiliate this young woman. And her friend didn't even mention that these girls were going to be there, and she knew. And so why put yourself in these and it could have went, she ended up leaving. My client ended up, just leaving. But that situation can go either way, because what if you were with someone who was aggressive and took a Heineken bottle, cracked it, and busted upside of her head? Like, that situation could have easily went south, especially if she felt the girl was trying her and she was like, I'm not letting this go. It just could have went another way. And so you put people in situations, and thank goodness everybody was level-headed and mature. Well, not everybody. Thank goodness my client was level-headed and mature and just, was like, let me get out of here. And when she got to her car, she burst out crying. Understandably so. That was a very hurtful thing to do. And it's supposed to be her friend. And the friend didn't even walk her to her car. Didn't even walk her to her car. You got to be careful of these fake friends. So I want to give you some scriptures, and be mindful when you find these three things happening. Be very mindful of that. So I want to give you some scriptures. And the story that I was referencing about Noah is in the 9th chapter of Genesis. You can read the story for yourself. It's in the 9th chapter of the book of Genesis. You can read the whole story. But I want to give you some scriptures to just be mindful. So this is what James chapter 1 verse 8 says. James chapter 1 verse 8 says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So when you have a double-minded friend, right? Her ways are unstable. When something is unstable, it doesn't have the stability to ground you. So an unstable friendship is a friendship that can go either way. It is not grounded in care, concern, kindness, consideration, love, loyalty. It's not grounded in the basic foundations. And so how can you stand? Imagine you're standing on something that's wobbling. How could you securely stand on it if it's wobbling? You can't, because it's wobbling. So a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, meaning a double-minded human being. So you want to really begin to assess your friendships, particularly if there's somebody around you who you get the sense that they're a fake friend. Are they double-minded? Because when you have divided loyalties, you are double-minded. Divided loyalties, you're double-minded. It is one or the other. And people get very tense and touchy about this because oftentimes they're looking at ways in which they are double-minded. Now, there are times, I want to be very clear, where you may have had a situation where you're friends with both people and they fell out and you were all friends. We're not talking about that. So we're not looking to make excuses. We're not talking about you were all friends and two of the friends from your friendship group fell out with each other and they were both your friends. We're talking about you are friends with, we'll give her name. You're friends with Lisa. You know nothing about Samantha. You don't even know Samantha. Lisa lets you know that Samantha is a known enemy. Now, not only does Lisa let you know, you see Samantha treat Lisa horrifically. You see her bully her. You see her being nasty and mean to her. You see this with your own eyes. You see her starting rumors about her. So you witness the behavior. You don't know Samantha from a can of paint. And then out of the blue, all of a sudden, you decide to be BFFs with Samantha. How can Lisa trust you to be a friend to her? So that's the situation we are talking about here for purposes of clarity. So a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. So keep that in the back of your mind when you're looking at a friendship that doesn't have the solidity of care, concern, consideration, kindness, loyalty, and love. Those are the components that you need to build a strong friendship. Now, this is what Psalms 55:21. Psalms 55 verse 21 says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You got to be careful of friends whose words are smoother than butter, meaning they say they're a friend. They say all the right things, but war is in their heart. How do you know if war's in a person's heart? Because whatever's in the heart is eventually going to manifest into the deed, into their actions. So you will know if there's war in their heart by their actions. The things that they say and the things that they do will tell you. So if the things they say and they do are counter to care, consideration, kindness, love, and loyalty, then you already have your answer. and then you can decide what is best for you. But for those who wonder, why would my so-called friend go out of their way to befriend a known enemy who they don't even know? They don't know this person. Like, they're going out of their way. They will send them a friend request on Facebook. They will DM them on Instagram and start a whole friendship with this person who they don't know. So it's not like they had a foundation. The person can say, oh, we grew up together. There's no foundation there. That means that their loyalty is not with you. And you have a decision to make. Your life, you could choose to stay with a fake friend. Do you? But if you have to constantly look over your shoulder, that's a difficult position to be in. And only you can decide if you can live like that. So I hope you found this helpful. I want to let you know about my latest book, Rise Above the Haters. If you have haters, you need this book. This is a journal. It's actually a personal journal to help you keep on rising, shining, and thriving despite the envy, the shade, the shenanigans, and the hate. And this journal contains journal prompts, Bible scriptures, and self-reflective activities to activate what I call your hater-proof powers. And to find out what your hater-proof powers are, get the journal. It is in there, and it's going to show you how to be hater-proof. Because here's the bottom and top line. You cannot change another adult. We can pray God's will in their life. We can pray they repent from their misguided ways. You can pray, but they still have free will. And even if God is leading them, they have to choose whether they are going to obey or whether they are going to act like they don't hear the leading of God. You can't override another human being's free will. But what you can control with 100%, you can control how you choose to show up for life despite the haters that are coming at you with their envy and their hate. You can decide to refuse to allow a hater to bring you down. And if they bring you down, you can refuse to allow them to keep you down. You can choose to do that. You can choose to refuse to allow a hater to steal all of your joy, to crush every bit of your confidence, to actually poison your peace of mind, and to derail your purpose. So you can choose, and do know, right, that even Jesus has had haters. He has haters today, and he had haters back then. That's in the scriptures. It says, if the world hates you, know that it hated me first. So when you understand that, know that you are in the best company if you got haters, right? John 15 verse 8 reminds us that the world hated Jesus first. So with that being said, the book Rise Above the Haters is available at Amazon, and I have a song coming out to go with it to keep you in a good frame of mind despite the hate that might be coming at you, and it's called Greater Than Your Haters. The song will be available Friday, May 3rd on all streaming stores, all streaming music stores. So you can go out and get that, and that can be a song to pump you up to keep on going despite the negativity you may be dealing with. 2 quick announcements. We have a book club meeting coming up on Thursday, I think it's May 2nd. Yeah, Thursday, May 2nd, 2 p.m. No, Thursday, I'm giving you the wrong date. Thursday, May 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. May 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's a book launch party on YouTube Live for members of the CassandраMack YouTube channel. And it's a book launch party for the Rise Above the Haters book. And we'll be previewing a little bit of my new song, Greater Than Your Haters. So to become a member, click on the link that says membership and select the level that comes with the book club. You'll see that there are 3 levels of membership. And the first and third Wednesday of the month, we have a Wednesday Wellness Club. So if you want to focus more specifically on mental well-being, mental self-care, the Wednesday Wellness Club is a therapeutic group that focuses on mental self-care, mental wealth through a biblical lens. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. And remember, you can rise above the frenemies and you can rise above the envy. Take care.